Hello, today we're going to look at fractional indices and what they mean. So I'm going to take you through a few examples. We'll discover what they mean, and then we'll generalize that and do a little example at the end. So we're going to look at 9 to the power of a half and discover what that means. So 9 to the power of a half multiplied by 9 to the power of a half. Now if we use our index laws, when we multiply, we add the indices. So a half plus a half equals 1. And 9 to the power of 1, anything to the power of 1 is itself. So 9 to the power of 1 is 9. Another way of getting 9 is multiplying the square root of 9 by the square root of 9. So if we compare these two calculations, those two must be the same. Well, 9 is the same, and therefore these two terms must be exactly the same. So 9 to the power of a half equals the square root of 9. Right, moving on to the power of a third. This time I've got 27 to the power of a third. So same sort of idea. Multiplying, therefore we add the indices. So a third plus a third plus a third. That's 3/3, so that's 1. 27 to the power of 1, same as 27. Another way of getting 27 is doing the cube root of 27 multiplied by the cube root of 27 multiplied by the cube root of 27. So again, if we compare the top and bottom calculations, those two must be the same. Those two terms must be the same. Those two are the same, and those two are the same. So therefore, 27 to the power of a third is the same as the cube root of 27. Right, a slightly trickier one here. Same idea, multiplying, therefore add the indices. 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3, well that's 6/3, which is the same as 2. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. Another way of getting x squared is multiplying together 3 times the cube root of 8 squared. And you can imagine the cube roots cancelling out if you want maybe a better feel for that. So again, we're going to compare the top and bottom calculations. Those two are the same. Therefore, these terms here must be exactly the same as well. So 8 to the power of 2/3 is the same as the cube root of 8 squared. Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to take those 3 examples and we're going to use that to get a general summary of what a fractional index actually means. Now I'm going to add in some numbers first of all. So 9 to the power of a half is the same as square root. If we were to write that out in full, that'd be 9 to the power of 1, and the square root is the same as the second root. So we can put a little 2 in there. 27 to the power of a third. Well, 27 is the same as 27 to the power of 1. So I'm just going to add in those little numbers, and we're going to look for a pattern. So let's look at the denominators. Hopefully you can see the denominator for each of them is the same as the root. So for instance, the 2 is there, the 3 is there, and the 3 is there. So the denominator corresponds to the root. Also, hopefully you've spotted the numerator corresponds to the power. So the 1 up there, 9 to the power of 1, the 1, 27 to the power of 1, and the 2 over here, same as the power there. So the number on the denominator is the root, number on the numerator is the power. So for instance here, number on the denominator, in this case n, is the root, and the number on the numerator is the power. So a to the power of m divided by n is the same as the nth root of a to the power of m. Now I find people often get these mixed up. So the way I like to think about it is, if we're going to imagine this part of the fraction, that's going to be the ground. And say you're a tree or a plant on top of the ground. Now if you're a tree or a plant, first thing you're going to do to survive is plant some roots. So the roots are below the ground. So that n is always going to be the root. So please remember, denominator, root, numerator, the power. Moving on to a calculation with a number. So 27 to the power of 2/3. That's the same as 27 to the power of the numerator, which is 2, and it's the third root of that, or the cube root. That's pretty tricky without a calculator. Pretty easy with a calculator. So I'm going to show you another way of doing it, and I'm going to go back to the powers of powers law. So I can write 27 to the power of 2/3 as 27 to the power of a third all squared. And if you remember your powers of powers law, you multiply together to get the power. So a third multiplied by 2 gives us the 2/3. So I've reversed this process. I've split up the 2/3 into a third multiplied by 2. 27 to the power of a third. That's the same as the cube root, or the third root, of 27. And don't forget the little squared in this particular calculation. Now, how do we find the cube root of 27? Well, we think, what number multiplied by itself 3 times, so the little root bit helps us, what number multiplied by itself 3 times gives us 27? Well, is it 1? No, because 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 is 1. Is it 2? No, because 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 is 8. Is it 3? It is 3, because it's 3 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3 gives us a 27. So 3 multiplied by itself 3 times gives us a 27. And in this particular calculation, don't forget the squared. So 3 squared, 9. So 27 to the power of 2/3 is 9. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.